Welcome back to Lissa's Lizards. It's been a quick minute since I posted a video. Sorry about that. But this one is one that I'm very excited about. And if you can't tell from my channel name, Lissa's Lizards, I never really fully expected this to happen. I didn't really have a major interest in snakes, but in the last year or so, I have gotten really interested in snakes, particularly boa constrictors. I really just kind of started to obsess over them, the different kinds, the different morphs, and their sizes and everything about them. I love ball pythons, and I love green tree pythons, and I love different other kinds of snakes too. I just really got into boa constrictors. I thought they were really unique and really cool. I loved the idea of a large snake, but the sheer size of the normal boa constrictors, especially the females, was really intimidating to me. I don't have a ton of space where I live right now, and I managed to make the most of the space that I do have, clearly, but I didn't think that it was something that I could do or something that I could handle. So throughout my research, I kind of came across the Hog Island boa constrictors. They are a species of boa constrictor. They're a normal boa constrictor Imperator.
Boa constrictor Imperator. Imperator.
That's right. That's how you say it. Pretty sure. I think. Somebody needs attention. If you don't know, this is Barney, my panther chameleon. He tends to get a little needy, and he is wanting out. He's not going to stop. So it's not good for him to climb the screen. He does that when I'm in the room and not holding him. He's a needy little brat like that. So I took him out for a minute, and I'm gonna let him hang out on a tree that I have over here on the other side of the room. So just a minute. Okay, now that my needy little chameleon, Barney, is happily over on his tree over there, I can get back to the real star of the video today. So Hog Island boas are a subspecies of boa constrictor imperators. Because these guys are from an island off the coast of Honduras, it's just a small group of islands off the coast of Honduras near South America. They are naturally more of a dwarf species, which is really cool. So they're a type of boa constrictor. They're the same as your typical common boa constrictor imperators, but they just are a little smaller, which is really intriguing to somebody like me who, you know, doesn't want a full-on 8 or 9 foot boa constrictor, but still the same. So while I was doing my research, I kind of realized that these guys Hog Island boas aren't really bred that often, which is really unfortunate because they're a really cool snake, but they just aren't bred as often. There's just not as high of a demand for them. So they're harder to find. They're just more rare. It's also hard to find one that is 100% Hog Island boa constrictor. They are sometimes interbred and things like that. And so it's hard to find one that's a pure Hog Island boa constrictor. So I kind of went into NARBC with the mindset of getting a pied ball python, which is still on my wish list one day, but it wasn't something that I was as thrilled about as a boa constrictor, but a full-size boa constrictor was just not in the cards for me at this time. So I didn't think that Hog Islands were going to be, you know, accessible and things like that. So it wasn't something that I was really looking for. I did go to NARBC with the intention of maybe coming home with a snake. I tend to collect cages of animals for animals that I might want. So I tend to plan ahead like that and get cages way in advance so that if the time arises where I do find that perfect animal, which happens, then I'm prepared. I'm not, you know, scrambling to get a cage and get the accessories and get everything that they need and all that stuff, because you got to prepare for these things. So it's, you know, you never want to impulse buy, you never want to impulse buy an animal like that. So it's really smart to just kind of have a checklist in your head of what you want and go ahead and start planning for that in advance. So that's kind of how I go into every reptile show. If I have something that's on my wish list, you know, I make sure that I have space for it, I make sure that I have a spot for it, and, you know, and a home for it, and all of that. So I went into NARBC with the mindset of maybe coming home with a snake if it was the perfect one. I wasn't, you know, on the hunt for one, but if it came across me and if it found me, I was prepared. So she found me. Let me go get her. So this is Hazel, my beautiful Hog Island boa constrictor. As you can tell, she is very inquisitive and is looking all at the camera and my lights and everything. So she is a beautiful little girl. You can tell she's got this gorgeous, gorgeous tail, which was one of the things that really sold me on her and got me really excited to own her. So that is something she cannot get over. This light is so interesting. Hi, honey. What are you doing? You are just beautiful. Look at that. I think she's a little confused by the light. She really likes it there. That's funny. I saw this little girl and she kind of stole my heart. It was kind of funny. I was with my friend, Neptune the Chameleon on Instagram, so check her out. So I was with my friend and she knew that I was kind of looking for potentially a pied ball python, but I've been to several reptile expos with her before, and she knew how obsessed I was with boa constrictors. Every time I saw one, I kind of freaked out and immediately ran over there to go look at them. So she knew that. And the second that I saw this little girl, my friend knew that I was pretty much done for. It was funny because after we were walking around, she would point out, you know, hey, there's some more pied ball pythons over here. Do you want to come look at them? And I pretty much was like, I don't know. And she looked at me and she was like, yeah, I think you know what you're gonna do. Like, I think it's pretty clear. It's pretty obvious your mind's made up at this point. She was bred by Bailey and Bailey Reptiles with Tim Bailey. He really just sold me on her as well. He knew so much about her, so much about, you know, all of his animals and everything. And so he was incredibly knowledgeable, which I always look for in a breeder, just to make sure that they know their stuff and know what I'm getting into. But she is a 100% pure Hog Island boa constrictor, which is also hard to find. So she is a beautiful baby and I'm very excited to watch her grow. Boa constrictors are so strong, they're so inquisitive, they're so curious. And so that was something that really, really just keyed my interest with them and why I liked them a lot. But if you look, you can see her tail right here. Beautiful coloration there. There was actually another Hog Island boa at a different table that I saw, but they're at the same expo, but their tails were bland and brown and didn't have this amazing pattern here. So that was something that I really appreciated about her and really liked about her. She, as you can tell, is already pretty long. She's officially eaten 2 meals with me, so she's doing really well. She's really well adjusted. She has not shed yet, so we are waiting on that and to see how that goes. But if all goes well, she's definitely being kept at the right temps, right humidity, everything is good to go for her. And she's in an enclosure that will be more than enough room for her for at least a year, if not 2, as she's slow growing. So she should be good to go. Really just wanted to introduce you guys to her, show her off. I'm very excited to have her in my little reptile family here at Lissa's Lizards. So thank you guys so much for watching. I promise I'll have some more videos out soon too, but thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.